As we talk end-to-end compliance with Zoom Compliance Manager, this could be for regulation requirements, data loss protection, and so on that we'll touch on. We're going to go from left to right in these stages. First, we're going to start with ingestion, talking about the capture of these AI capabilities, these AI meeting summary notes, and the efficacy that it brings to your internal teams. This will allow you to review the content from natively from Zoom. So the feature functionality is supported from a capture ingestion perspective. We also have the ability for filtering. This is where we can specifically identify participants, custodians, media types, anything that's important to you from an attribute or a metadata perspective. We can do things like risk policy detection, filtering, and routing of that content as needed. Labeling is also fully supported that we'll get into in the demo. This will allow you to categorize different AI companion generated content. So whether we have multiple different departments, groups, or users, we can customize labels, tag labels to specific records or content within the system. Additionally, we support review in the system. So everything that we get through is native format and full fidelity playback within the system. This enhances your ability to review content either for your compliance or security teams, review and assess what took place in a contextualized manner. Lastly, we support full export of data that we'll get to in the demo and through the rest of the course. What this means is that the data is owned directly by the customer. So you as the customer have the ability to leverage existing archives, workflows, or maybe existing on-premise or cloud systems where we can actually seamlessly send copies or records of AI companion generated data for auditing or reconciliation purposes. First, as we talk data ingestion, this is where we're going to focus on our automated capture capabilities. Integration allows the confidence that end users, whether they're compliance or regulated, monitored users, or this is just for internal security purposes, we're able to catch and prove that we have records that end users are creating. What this means is regulatory alignment. So whether we're having regulation bodies like SEC, FINRA, and others, we have mandatory requirements to keep data for specific periods of time. In our ingestion process, we're able to define where the content comes from, AI companion notes that we'll get into, and be able to define those through a unified experience. Unified data management allows us to consolidate all of our generated records into a single pane of glass, unifying the experience so that we know where content came from and where it ended up. As we get into content filtering, this is where Zoom Compliance Manager, powered by Theta Lake, supports artificial intelligence and machine learning models to flag and give risk disposition to specific records. These are customizable rules that are completely managed by the customer with help of Zoom and Theta Lake, where we can actually define existing lexicons or workflows and replicate those in the system to get more false positives or more positive detections, thus increasing our time or decreasing our time of review and increasing the efficacy or the efficiency that we have reviewing content in the system. This decreases the total time it takes to review content, reducing the overhead that it takes to go and actually compile and review multiple different records. We're also going to review hand in hand is labeling. This is where we can automatically or manually assign and attach labels to records. This increases the time, the review, if we have multiple different departments, groups, whether those are internal or external groups of users, they're able to come in here, review content that's been labeled and queued up for them. It really allows them to accelerate investigations, groups that are reviewing content. We typically see this as needing to go in and identify risk for litigation or legal hold management cases. This will allow us to actually be able to do that seamlessly across multiple users and teams. Then we'll also dive into review. Zoom Compliance Manager allows you to view that content full fidelity in its native format. Playback in the system also allows you to do audio, video, screen share. As we talk AI companion specifically and generated content, that will look and feel just like it does in the Zoom environment. This is where everything gets indexed in the system so that anything that's important, whether it's keywords, phrases, existing lexicons, we'll be able to search through those in the system, as well as be proactively notified based on any of those policy detections that we've configured to be alerted to. Next, we'll be able to export this content wherever we would like to. So if we have an existing archive of record, or if we already have a system that we're using for legal hold. This allows us to seamlessly integrate into these, set up automated or manual export of data to these systems, allowing you to have control and ownership over your data. As data comes into the system, we can set these up with our routing rules or manually allow for batch jobs and then be able to export those in a single swoop and then be able to audit and reconcile any of those actions that took place. We'll go ahead and cut over here to a live demo, still the screen share from me, Martin. As we get in here into the demo, this is a live production demo environment. You'll notice the Zoom Compliance Manager is fully embedded directly within the Zoom admin console. This is where role-based access controls are fully supported. So we just assign this role to an administrative user. Any of our end users for compliance or regulatory persons that have regulation requirements to capture their communications, all of their content will flow into this system by design. As we first talk our data ingestion on how content comes into the system, this is where we have our Zoom native content sources. We support the full Zoom product suite today. So as we talk Zoom native integrations where AI companion and AI generative content is happening, this could happen in a Zoom native cloud recording, Zoom team chat, as well as electronic communications or in-meeting capabilities where we get a transcript afterwards along with the AI companion meeting summary on what took place, next step action items, and what happened. The great thing from an ingestion perspective is at any point in time, you as the customer are able to selectively identify which features are important to you to capture. Today, we're going to specifically focus on the AI companion summary notes that come after a meeting. This is a selective feature that you can identify along with any of the other features of Zoom. So if it's important to you, we're able to then capture it, normalize it, and then support playback in the system. As we look at filtering content directly through the system, analysis is supported to where we can identify specific risk that happens within content or within our day-to-day user interactions. These custom policies are fully managed by the customer. A lot of these have been pre-built and pre-configured for financial services or highly regulated marketplaces. As we talked FINRA, this is where we might have things like promissory notes or misleading or inappropriate discussions. Whatever is important to us, we can be flagged. So as our end users begin to use more of our native Zoom features, AI is going to help them to be more efficient in their day-to-day workflows. We were able to identify risks or maybe specific end user behaviors that we need to tailor or address with continuing education. All of this is completely configurable and allows for automation within the system. As content comes in, it can be fully automized so that you can risk or give risk disposition to specific records or content, and then we can route that to specific users as needed. As we talk labeling of content as it comes directly into the system, this is where you'll notice as we go through the demo, this is our built-in search and e-discovery that allows you to interact directly with content. You'll notice some of my content here as I click on my specific meeting summary from a meeting. I have some labels here, demo AI companion, PII information, and then a custom label tag. These are completely configurable. This can be done in an automated workflow action, or users have the ability to manually come and assign labels or tags to content, thus increasing the efficiency of other users coming in and co-collaborating or reviewing that similar content. This really accelerates investigations as we talk legal hold or litigation case management. Content can be pre-flagged or manually flagged, and then that's all set up for the next person coming in. Now that our content's directly in the system, you'll notice that we have a couple different records here to view. I have my meeting directly where my AI companion notes came from. I'm able to see all information regarding the specific record. This will be the host information, first name, last name, email address, and then the join and leave time of each one of those individual participants. This is where I'm giving a risk score or posture on what took place according to the policy that I've set up for these users. In this specific case, I can see here that I need conversation, that there's sensitive documents that are found here in this meeting. The compliance advisor directly takes me to there, leveraging AI and ML to seamlessly allow us to identify what took place, what was risky in a diarized communication transcript, where we can then see the action items that took place afterwards via the AI companion summary notes. Each of these can be then added to legal hold or additional processes taken on each one of them. If this is important to me in my investigation, I can include things like keywords, phrases, or existing lexicons. I can then select all of those records, and then I can choose to add these to legal hold or directly export these to another system. This is where if you have existing records or systems or workflows in place, there's no need to rip and replace those. We can seamlessly plug into them, allow you to access these AI features natively in Zoom, proactively identify the risk posture or give a risk posture, show you where the risk is, and then we can send that downstream automatically or manually as needed. As content comes in and out of the system, we do a really great job of even setting things up for a specific user queue. Here I have content that's being routed via workflow to a specific user. So as I have AI Companion that's enabled or AI features that are enabled, I can set some of those routing policies or some of those native search and e-discovery hits to automatically route content to a user. This is where you can see here in this user specific queue. This is where the user can actually see exactly what risk happened, what time it took place. I can see this as a continual chat that's happening. I can also see other AI companion features that have been captured and take action on them individually. Zoom Compliance Manager is a single pane of glass that's going to allow you the feature functionality to seamlessly turn on your AI companion or other AI features, compliantly capture them for defined retention periods, and then set them up or queue them for your compliance, legal teams, or other administrative based users to review and take action on, or be able to escalate to further take action on at a later point in time. I'll go ahead and stop there in the demo, and then I'll hand it back over to you, Martin.
Thank you, Anthony. Zoom is where the most important work is done. Let an AI companion help you focus on what matters most, while AI policies and Zoom Compliance Manager helps you stay compliant. Thank you for watching, and for more information, check out zoom.com, AI Companion, and Zoom Compliance Manager. Thank you very much.